I opened the door expecting a technician, just someone to fix my broken Wi-Fi, but by the time he left, something inside me had changed forever. Please watch this story till the end. You won't believe what really happened. Asterisk it had been weeks since I'd truly spoken to anyone, not in a real heart-to-heart way. The walls of my apartment echoed with silence, and my days were filled with the dull buzz of loneliness. Ever since I moved here for work, life felt mechanical. The Wi-Fi going out was just another bad thing in a long list of bad days. I worked from home, so the sudden disconnect left me helpless. After a few hours of trying everything, I finally gave in and called the service center. They said someone would come over the next morning. I didn't even ask the name of the person. I didn't care. I was tired mentally and emotionally. The next day, I sat in my gray kitchen sipping cold coffee when the doorbell rang. I expected an older man, someone grumpy and technical. But when I opened the door, there he was, a tall man with gentle eyes, carrying a tool bag and a calm energy that instantly softened the room. "Hi, I'm here for the Wi-Fi issue," he said politely. I nodded, barely making eye contact, and let him in. He didn't talk much. He moved around quietly, checking the cables, the router, running diagnostics, but somehow, his silence wasn't uncomfortable. It was peaceful. It had been so long since I felt peace around someone. Asterisk while he worked, I returned to my spot at the table, watching him out of the corner of my eye. There was something about him, not just how he looked, but how he carried himself. Calm, kind, not in a hurry. He noticed the book stacked beside my laptop. "You like to read?" he asked casually. I hesitated. I used to, before everything got so noisy inside my head. He looked at me for a moment, then smiled gently. Sometimes the noise means we're still alive. It's when everything goes quiet inside that we need to worry. That line hit me like a wave. I hadn't realized I was holding so much in until that second. My eyes welled up, but I blinked it away, embarrassed. He didn't ask anything more. He just nodded and went back to his work. I had forgotten what it felt like to be seen, not questioned, not fixed, just seen. Asterisk. He finished fixing the issue and ran a test. I could have let him leave right after, but I found myself asking if he wanted a cup of tea before heading out. To my surprise, he agreed. We sat in silence at first. Then slowly words came out. He told me about his love for restoring old radios. He found peace in tuning things back to life. I told him about my childhood dreams of becoming a writer. Dreams I buried under deadlines and responsibilities. "You still can," he said, looking me straight in the eyes. "Dreams don't expire, we just forget to visit them." His words weren't dramatic, they were soft, real, and they stayed with me. By the time he left, my Wi-Fi worked perfectly. But more than that, for the first time in months, my soul felt like it had a signal again. Asterisk. A week later, the Wi-Fi went out again. This time, I hoped it was the same technician. When I opened the door and saw him standing there again, I smiled. Without hiding it, "Didn't think I'd see you so soon." He chuckled. "Neither did I wanted to say, but I was glad I did." He fixed the issue quickly. But this time, I asked him if he wanted to join me for dinner. It was a simple meal. Leftover pasta and some garlic bread. But the warmth we shared during that meal was richer than anything I'd tasted in years. We spoke about life, loss, regret, healing. I told him about my broken relationship with my father. He told me about losing his best friend in an accident, and how that changed his view on time. We both cried a little. We both laughed a little. And in between all that, I realized he wasn't just fixing a connection between devices. He was helping restore something in me that I thought was gone forever. Asterisk. We started seeing each other. Not often, just enough to keep the connection alive. There was no grand love story, no sudden confessions. Just slow understanding, gentle presence, and the kind of companionship that feels like a soft blanket on a cold day. Sometimes he'd bring over old radios and show me how they worked. I started writing again, bit by bit. Some nights he'd read my words aloud and they sounded so much more beautiful coming from his mouth. One night, as we sat on the balcony, he said, "You know, I came here to fix your Wi-Fi, but I think it was my heart that got repaired in the process." I looked at him and smiled, my eyes wet again. "Maybe we were both offline for a while," I whispered, "but now we're back online. Asterisk if this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs a little signal today."